All right, let's talk about grief. This is something that we will all experience. So what is grief? Well, it's a response to loss. What can cause grief? Well, like so many things. It could be the death of a loved one, whether a person or an animal. Could be a breakup, a divorce. Could be you moved, a lost friendship, losing a job, or losing some financial security, changing schools, changing jobs, having a baby. So much. Grief is individual. So if you experience grief, you experience it. Someone cannot tell you that you shouldn't experience grief for that. If it's a loss, it's a loss. Okay, the stages of grief, which I'll talk about a little bit more on the next slide, you may have heard of them before. Denial, anger, depression, bargaining, and acceptance. Some people think this is just this path, but it's not. You go back and forth. It's a jumbled mess. So denial, things someone might say, this can't be happening, but I feel fine. Okay, there are worse things that could happen. It's not that bad. Anger, it's not fair. Why me? Why did this happen? Who's to blame? Bargaining, like I'd do anything to go back. I wish I could have done things differently. Depression, I'm so sad. What's the point? I miss life the way it was. Acceptance, it's gonna be okay. Like I can manage this. Again, it is not a neat cycle like that. And you could get to acceptance and the next day be back at bargaining or anger or denial. There's no set path. You just have to feel it. Get support and feel it. A lot of this lesson is some videos. And this first one is from a former student of mine, Chris, who shares his experience with grief after the death of his mother. This video, Be Better Than Fine, it's from a TED Talk. And one of the big takeaways I have from this is when people say, like, hi, how are you? And then just keep walking. Like they don't really care. So if you ask someone, how are you? Maybe listen. And maybe if you're not fine, don't say, I'm fine. Like maybe you don't have to say every little thing that's bothering you, but you could say, I'm not having a good day. Not everyone experiences grief in the same way. Not every loss is the same. Everyone's loss is different. This next one, we don't move on. I have two versions of it. We don't move on. We move forward though. Because the grief that we feel because of that loss, that shaped who we are right now. So we don't really move on, but we do move forward. In a journey through loss and grief, he talks about hospice experience and how it seems wonderful to be able to be in your home in your final days or weeks or months. But maybe what they don't tell you is you will watch the person you love fade away. And some of those memories will be associated with your home. So, things to think about. And that is grief, our response to loss. So personal, so complicated. It's so different. Not everyone experiences a response that is the same, even if the loss was the same. Your response is individual. Okay? But lean on your supports when you are experiencing grief.